Yeah, if Sunbather was the fire, Infinite Granite is the waves. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I am going to be reacting to the album Infinite Granite from the post-metal band Deafheaven. I've recently been getting into Deafheaven's music. I just listened to their 2013 album Sunbather and was blown away by it. I thought it was really amazing, and that's the only other Deafheaven album I have heard so far. And so when I saw that they were coming out with a new album in August of this year, I was really excited and just looking forward to listening to it. I have no idea what to expect. I haven't heard any of the singles from this album. I haven't read any reviews about it. I know absolutely nothing about Infinite Granite, so I have no clue what we're getting into here, and I'm just really looking forward to hearing this album. Alright, so just diving right into this reaction, we are starting off with track 1, which is called Shellstar. We're off to kind of a very bright, fresh sound right at the start of the song. Interesting. Comparing this to Sunbather, the vocals are obviously extremely different. Lilac Swing, yeah. This is kind of a song that's very evocative of springtime and freshness and renewal. The instrumentals are definitely reminding me of a more mellow, restrained version of Sunbather. The vocals are so different though. Yeah, they're definitely embracing a very different sound on this album. I think I like it. And now we have like a whispered vocal bit. This is a really interesting one. It just evokes a lot of images in my head, the sound of this song. It almost reminds me of M83 at certain points, like especially this whispered part. And then we just have some distortion right at the end there. Alright, well that was track 1, Shellstar. Very interesting. Not what I was expecting comparing it to Sunbather, specifically with the vocals going on. We're not getting that really intense screaming that they did on Sunbather on a lot of the tracks. Very, like I said, evocative and dreamlike. It's just the vocals I'm not really sure about. I don't dislike them, it's just different. I'm just going to move on to track 2, In Blur. Yeah, they're keeping these vocals the same, at least so far anyway. This is very melodic. I do really like the instrumentals though on these first two. It carries a lot of power with it, but in a very restrained way. There's all these interesting sound effects and kind of an echoiness too going on, which just adds to that atmospheric, dreamlike quality. Ooh, I like the end of this. I'm actually getting goosebumps, which I wasn't expecting to get. I guess typical Deafheaven for you. They just build these tracks up, and then you're hit with a really unexpected, awesome ending. That was track 2, In Blur. I really liked that one. It started out and I was very unsure about it because it kind of reminded me of the first track, just more melodic. But that one in Blur really built up in a very restrained way though. And I'm just going to move on to track 3, Great Mass of Color. I do really like the fresh vibrancy of the sound of this album. There's like a background sound going on here, which is really subtle, and it almost adds like a tiny bit of creepiness. These instrumentals that just build up into the chorus are awesome. Again, same as Sunbather though, these tracks are so intricately layered and they just flow so well. This is the Deafheaven I know. This is the sound that I really, really like. We've got goosebumps again. These tracks toward the end are bringing it. It's just like the melodic bits at the start I'm just unsure of. Okay, and then that one just flowed right into the next track, so I'm just gonna pause it real fast. That was track 3, Great Mass of Color. I will admit, when that track started, I was again very unsure. The vocals, they're a little bit on the melodic, slower, borderline folksy side of things for my personal liking. And then I don't know what happened the end of that track when they just brought that intensity again that they definitely embraced on Sunbather was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was just at the start kind of unsure about it. I'm unsure about this whole album so far, but I think I like it. But I'm just going to continue on listening to track 4, which is Neptune, Raining Diamonds. It sounds like something ripped from a movie soundtrack. Very cinematic and atmospheric. I just love all these sounds going on. They just keep throwing in something new. Again, very reminiscent of M83, I will say. Such an interesting track, all these sounds. Alright, and then that one flowed right into the next track as well. But that was track 4, Neptune, Raining Diamonds. Super atmospheric, cinematic, like I said. They kind of went in a more electronic direction. There was less of the traditional instrumentals going on. I just liked that one. It was kind of like a little interlude. It reminds me of on Sunbather, how they would have like a really long track and then a shorter, more melodic one kind of in between the longer tracks. It kind of sounded like one of those shorter interlude-esque songs that Sunbather had. And then I'm just going to keep playing track 5, which is Lament for Wasps. They're definitely embracing a softer sound with this album, which is interesting. I am very unsure of it. I don't hate it. I just love the choruses. Like the instrumentals on the chorus always just hit exactly right. Alright, I like the guitar they've got going on here. This track is definitely very trance-inducing. It's kind of like the same vocal arrangement over and over. That track was interesting. Kind of like this whole album. I can't say that I disliked that track in any way. It was absolutely gorgeous, actually. I don't know. It's, for me, there's certain parts where it's missing just a little bit of energy or something. The instrumentals are not lacking at all. I love how they just built up toward the end. I think it's on the part of the vocals. I just want like a little bit more. And then I'm going to move on to track 6, Villain. All right, we've got some very subtle background effects going on, it sounds like. I'm already picking up some very slight Radiohead vibes on this track. Again with the whispering. I actually really like the whispering. There's like a hint of this menacing quality to this track. They keep adding stuff. I love this side of Deafheaven. By keeping this album more melodic, when they do introduce these vocals, it just has an even bigger impact. That was track 6, Villain. That is the track that I have been waiting for this whole album. I think it was a little more dynamic with the sound effects and everything going on. And then with those whispered moments, it kind of brought about a little bit of a different atmosphere instead of just kind of that very dreamy, trance-like sound throughout this album so far. It kind of brought in a little bit of a darker vibe to it. And I'm going to move on to track 7, titled The Gnashing. This one definitely sounds like it would maybe have more energy going on, but who knows? We'll see. Okay, I might have been onto something. I just figured with a title like The Gnashing, they might bring a little bit more of a punch to it. I know what this costs us. I know it's exhausting you. Is that what the lyrics were? All right, it's slowing down. This part is cool. We've got like this really kind of distorted sounding, muffled, echoey electric guitar. This part's pretty awesome. That was track 7, The Gnashing. Again, Deafheaven is kind of keeping a similar track pattern that they had on Sunbather, and they're continuing that on Infinite Granite, just with how these tracks build up so immensely from start to finish. They add on so much stuff and so many layers. By the end of the track, you're just blown away by how the sound has changed. And moving on to track 8, we have Other Language. Got some great percussion here right at the start. Yeah, the percussion is definitely what's standing out to me on this track. I always know when we get to these little quiet sections that it's going to build up to something. There's just such a clean, precise sound to Deafheaven. They're definitely masters at just building up these tracks so much. Alright, that was track 8, Other Language. Again, a very restrained, more melodic song, but that one, the instrumentals just built up so well. I loved the percussion of that one too. The drumming really stood out to me. And I'm just gonna move on to track 9, Mombasa. I really want to see how this album concludes and what sounds they throw on this one. So yeah, track 9. Let's check this one out. I don't hear anything right off the start of this one. Okay, I think I hear some really... oh yeah, and then we have some acoustic guitar coming in. Huh, interesting start. Yeah, if Sunbather was the fire, Infinite Granite is the waves. Like, this album is very smooth and flowing and melodic. It still kind of has its highs and lows in terms of energy, but it's way more gradual and reined in a little bit. These little infusions of electronic bits and bops are really cool. I just like them. These vocals are really, they're interesting. It's like this growling sound almost. I just love how they always have their songs build up. It's awesome. It just has them finish on such a crazy, energetic note. I'm always so impressed by their drummer too. The percussion is just crazy. That was quite the abrupt ending to track 9, Mombasa. They started it out with that acoustic guitar, and then they just built it up so much. I like the intensity on the vocals toward the end of that one too. Just a great end note to this album, and just to close everything out on such an all-out note toward the end. I absolutely love it. Alright, so that is going to do it for my reaction to Infinite Granite, the 5th studio album from Deafheaven. I really liked this album. It was not exactly what I was expecting in terms of the vocals. Like I said, Sunbather is the only other Deafheaven album that I've heard. This album was not on par with Sunbather. I'll just say that right off the bat. Sunbather blew me away. This album really did impress me. I thought it was extremely well crafted, put together. The flow between tracks was great. It did leave me something to be desired at certain points. The vocals threw me for a loop with how melodic they were, but then when they did bring the energy, it almost had more of an impact, but I just wanted a little bit more of that throughout this album. I think my favorite track from Infinite Granite is track 6, Villain. It changed up the sound just enough where it didn't become that lulling you to sleep trance-like sound that some of the other tracks had on this album. I also really liked tracks 2 and 3, In Blur and Great Massive Color. Those two built up tremendously well, and then by the end of those two tracks, just the energy and the delivery was amazing. Just really reminded me of Sunbather so much. Go give it a listen. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.